Pregame.com.
Jacksonville plus 12 at Pittsburgh. All right, Marco, I don't want to overdo me taking my bows here, but I can't be any clearer or on than I was last week. And for those that ever question RJ, go back to the Steelers video. It was like I recorded it the day after the game.
Wow.
It's true. This, unfortunately, don't have as much value in this game. I like Pittsburgh here, so let me get right to that. But here's the thing. Last week, we had an example, a rare example against Pittsburgh where the public was against them. The bias of the public was giving us value. I was able to lay 3 minus 120, almost saying these were even teams. In hindsight, that looks absurd. Now here, we've got the opposite. The public now has seen Pittsburgh. Oh, Pittsburgh's back. And there's no reaction you ever see more than when you have a team that people start to think differently of that then does something in which, oh, wait a minute, maybe we were wrong. People want to snap back to that Pittsburgh's one of the top 6 or 7 teams in the league. To be honest, I'm not sure about that anymore. But I do think there's a matchup situation here that makes it where there's value on Pittsburgh. And I also think that there's motivation with Pittsburgh, which is unusual with a double-digit favorite.
That point, I'm curious to hear where you say the motivation comes from.
All right. So and as many of the listeners and viewers know, you're a Pittsburgh guru. You've eaten more pierogies. Oh wait, that's something else. You lived in the PA or in Pittsburgh for 46 years,
yep.
And now you travel back a good bit. And your record with Pittsburgh shows it. Real quick, what's your Pittsburgh record?
We're 18-7 this year, and going back previous to that, we had like 49-25 with all Pittsburgh teams. So.
And you make it clear at pregamepros.com when you have a Pittsburgh game.
Absolutely.
Here's my thought. I follow the Steelers very closely. This is the first game they really played well. They were 2-2, but had yet to really play well. And Seattle, they won 24-0, but there still was a sense that they didn't play a great game. They played a couple special team mishaps, and that concerns me, but they played a really good game.
Just before we came on air, I said to you, Tennessee came out with that opening drive and, punched, Pittsburgh in the nose, and Pittsburgh responded, didn't lose their cool, and went right back down the field. And then after that, it wasn't a ball game. So, they did get it right. The offensive line, with the changes that they made, bringing Max Starks back, they played well.
Kind of sickens me how excited I am about Max Starks being back because he played that guy. He's a NFL lineman, and you need that at left tackle, and he had a heck of a game. The fact that he came back on 3 days of practice or 4 and played that game, that excites me and super duper. Let's just say it like that. So Max Starks is back, big deal. Here's the motivation, though. First game of the whole year, they've played really well. Typically, if you have a game you're really focused on, you have a great performance, you have let down next week. I don't think Tomlin's going to allow that. I think it's going to be, the focus is going to be, guys, we finally got some momentum. Let's keep the momentum.
To build to that, one reason that I can buy into the staying focused, because traditionally this would be a bad spot for Pittsburgh.
Yes, I
agree. They would mail a game in here. They've got a 3-week schedule. Pittsburgh does have one of the easier schedules
especially
in the NFL.
Second half of the year.
The last week's game, this week's game, these are games they need to win. The next 3 weeks, they go to Arizona. Now, people are going to say, well, that's not a tough game, but there's so many connections on that Arizona team from the coaching staff, previously at Pittsburgh. Then they've got 2 big games after that, New England and Baltimore. So this is both at home, big stretch for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think they're going to want to build on the momentum. The thing is that no coach ever wants a team to be down. But psychologically, there's ebbs and flows to a season.
You can't help it.
I just feel like this is one they're going to want to build on. And from what I'm hearing in practice, that's what's going on here. Number 2, if you want to avoid our videos and take a shortcut to handicapping Pittsburgh, here's my advice. Pick the 5 or 6 best quarterbacks in the league. I think that they always talk about the Big 6, and Big Ben's one of them. If the Steelers are playing one of the Big 5, look to go against. If they're playing not one of the Big 5, look to go on. But a caveat to that is if they're playing a bottom quartile, a bottom quarter of the league quarterback, look for almost a shutout. If you're one-dimensional against Dick LeBeau, it's over. I mean, sometimes I've seen, and you saw it in the Colts game, ended up being close. But if you looked at Seattle, this was a weird stat. Seattle only got past the Pittsburgh 50-yard line once in that game. And then in the first half, like with 6 minutes left in the first half, the Colts hadn't even been past the 50. The Steelers actually went almost six quarters and only allowing one trip into their side of the field. Against a limited quarterback, it feels like they could let him have the ball in the 20 every time they just get field goals. I mean, it really does. And there's no one more limited right now than Jacksonville's quarterback. Sure. One-dimensional team. I think Pittsburgh is going to dominate defensively, and I also believe that they're going to run the ball. The offensive line is the issue here. They're going to try to make a statement and run the heck out of the ball. So I'm going to project right now, I probably lean under more than I lean Pittsburgh, but I'm going to project 27-10 Steelers. I think Pittsburgh covers here. I think they run the heck out of the ball, and I think it goes under.
Yeah. The only thing, I mean, you are on the under anyways, but the only thing with Pittsburgh games is we are taping on a Wednesday. Always got to check weather conditions on game day.
But I don't think, I mean, this time of year, possibly...
With rain, if you get rain.
All right, fair enough. Last point here, and this is getting inside baseball a little bit or inside the NFL. Ryan Clark was limited. We're taping on Wednesday, limited in practice today. I tell you right now, one of the best tackling safeties in football. Very few people probably, that you're not a fan, you're not going to even think of Ryan Clark. And I tell you, a guy puts a hit on you like no one back there, or one of the best. If he's not a full go, I pull back a little bit. He's a tough dude. This is a dude, he's got some kind of sickle cell anemia, and if he plays at high altitudes, his cells start to, like, I'm no doctor, starts to rupture. And he got really sick when they played at Denver a couple years ago, and he still played, or I can't remember if he ended up playing. I don't think he did, but he wanted to, and Tomlin said no last year or year before. I mean, this guy's as tough as nails. So, but if he's not a full go, I pull back just a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Your turn to continue the conversation in the comments section, and we'll be back talking more NFL action. We're going to be talking Monday Night Football.